morning, everyone. I'm Courtney Bright. I'm the Senior Social and Digital Editor at American Salon. I'm very excited today because I'm live in New York at the Oribe Educational Studio with none other than Kien, Oribe's Director of Content and Training. And long time no see, I just saw you last night.
Just about 10 hours ago.
I know, we were in the midst of Fashion Week and you were backstage. Where were we?
We were at the Skylight Clarkson Studios.
For the Blondes.
For the Blondes. It was an incredible show, and I'm super excited to share with you, the viewers today, of what we did yesterday for the Blondes Fall/Winter 2017.
And I think you have a special treat because we're doing two looks for those of you that are watching. What is the second look that we can expect?
Well, the first look is actually from the show yesterday, and we wanted to kind of give a look that it's a little bit more wearable, something that you can actually do on your clients or on yourself, so that you're able to take the inspiration from yesterday's show to more back to the salon.
Right.
I would say. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get out of your way, and I'll let you go ahead. Thanks, Kien.
Thank you. So the look yesterday, the inspiration really came from David and Philippe and their show. The clothes every year has been just beautiful, decadent, and tons of embroidery. And this year it was like just pearls layered on top of each other. It was insane. So I'm here with Davide, one of our educators.
Hi.
Also.
Welcome.
And the look we wanted to do was, it was truly a collaboration between myself and Kabuki, the makeup artist, and David and Philippe. It was we decided to go with like a asymmetric French twist going forward. And within that, within their clothes, there was all these beautiful kind of like reptile the backdrop, and for the pearls to lay on. So I used that as an inspiration to mold and sculpt the front of the tail to like give these like really cool snake-like, not really curls or anything, but actually just like sculpting with rock hard gel to bring back the sculpting movement into hair. So yeah, that was a whole lot of fun, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So what we started off with our model today was we just used sections. Started the ponytail in the front. Just used Maximista, pulled everything asymmetrically, directed everything to the right side. Do it really, really nice. And what's important about this is that because of the show and because it's runway, it's a 360 kind of thing. So our team really needed to keep in mind that everything needed to be really firm, stiff, hard, smooth, because any type of flyaways will be seen because of the lighting. So section by section, I just used Maximista and just use our tail comb to direct everything forward into a really nice, tight, asymmetric ponytail. And in that ponytail, before we locked it in, we just kind of did a twist. So it started in the back, and it just kind of twisted over, and then we use hairpins to lock everything in. Okay, and the ponytail sits right in front, just right above the arch of the eyebrow, right over here. So it really accentuates and pulled and lifts the face, while they really wanted the face to be really tight and stretched, almost like a mini facelift,
We kept it square.
and keeping everything really, really nice and square. And then what we did was we just took each section and we curled it, just to kind of give like a little bend to the hair, so that will make it easier for us to like sculpt. Okay. All right, and just pinned everything into place. All right.
Do you have any tips when you're rolling the hair in order to keep it shape and keep it tight?
I think rolling is also important, but your body position is also very important too. Since we made the ponytail in the front, what I did was we used a tail comb to hold the squareness, the flatness, and as I rolled, I just shifted my body the opposite way so that when I landed into the front, the roll gets tucked under. Another way, another trick, or to kind of like keep your roll into place is use large hairpins to place it. Not hold it, place it until you like it, and then use small hairpins to lock it in after. So you can actually just use small little pins to lock it in once you get your shape in, okay? And once you have that in, once those hairpins in, these large pins can actually come out, and that will help secure everything and into place. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our sculpting, which is, what was really cool about that is the whole team, once we got the strong foundation in, we pretty much just had everybody put their own artwork in. So it was really quite exciting to see the whole team create something, you know? We had pieces that were sculpted all around the face, some were flat, some were truly kind of like spit waves all over the face. It was really, really cool. So the team did an incredible job. Yeah, let me just curl this one little piece for you. Yeah, we'll use a little bit of soft liner. When working backstage, it's really important to really organize everything. Spraying, application of product is really important because, you know, it's tight space. You really want to be able to kind of spray up so that so we don't get it all over anybody else. Yeah. Hands. Cool. All right. And the iron work is, you know, always test your iron, but the iron work is just to kind of give a little bend into the hair. Some of the girls had very, very long hair. So as we twisted the twist going forward, what was nice about it is you had this long tail right here so that you're able to really get out there, visualize where you want to sculpt it, pin everything in place, and do the face framing. It was pretty cool. Loved it. All right, so rock hard gel, you know, place it behind you so you're able to use your fingers to, you know, move it around to play. So I'm just using, you can pretty much start wherever you want, but I'm just kind of placing these. What was really important is that it wasn't really like anything too curly. It was really about like little snakes, you know, sculpting the hair so that you have like you're creating all these little tiny little snakes all the way around the front. Can I get more rock hard gel, Davide?
It was a fun show. The molding was beautiful.
Now we have someone asking a question in regards to education. She's saying, what education did you take to be backstage for the runway shows?
Education is key. You know, what we have at Oribe Hair Care is our Journey to Mastery classes, where it breaks down all the foundations, all the skills, all the sets that you need to really, really build backstage so you feel very confident in what you're doing. And for what I did was just that, you know, just learning from and assisting from incredible talented people. And, you know, but being backstage, you really need to know your foundation. You really need to know how to build, think quick. So with the Journey to Mastery classes that we have at Oribe Hair Care, we input all of that so that you're able to feel really confident when you're working backstage. And just pin and sculpt into place. There was a moment we're working with Philippe and David, and they love all the hard pin. So we were gonna leave it in, but yeah, we were. Super Fun Strong Suit Saturday.
Was that a last minute decision to take them out?
No, we decided to maybe save it for the next show. All right, so kind of snake-like, you know, you can drape it anywhere you want, but still keep in mind that it is an asymmetric thing, and make it three-dimensional. You know, the three-dimensional was very important because if it was way too flat from a distance, the audience just see bands, you know? So it was really important to like have our waves look three-dimensional. High ones, low ones, flat ones, and combination of both. So that was actually the fun part.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Super Fun Strong.
And a 3D effect to it.
Yeah, it has this like kind of 3D, you're right, like this 3D effect into it. All right, take this out, right in through here. Davide, can you hold that for me really quick? And then I'm just gonna grab a little bit more of rock hard gel. And rock hard gel, it's really incredible. It's almost like a gel that's like a cream, you know, you can feel it in your hands. It's really nice and it does so much. So see how it just locks it in. Oh, you don't want to do that. Yesterday we had about 23 girls, and I mean, every single piece, and it's a piece, so we really wanted to do something that was very special in the hairstyle because the clothes were so decadent. We really wanted to, I really wanted to create something like very special for that show. So, pretty intense. It was good, yeah.
And it was nice because we got to custom make every head shape. You know, everybody had their own touch on it.
Yeah, it was custom. It was done. Everybody had their own take on it, just like the clothing. It was just everything is done so specific and so detailed. Incredible.
So Shannon's just joining us and she's asking what this look is called.
I would say this look is called it's a asymmetric French twist, asymmetric French twist going forward, and using the tail to mold and scope in snake-like.
Kind of head shape, head form.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it as looking kind of like maybe the inspiration could be like from the 20s and 30s of the arte, you know. So it's really about bringing the sculpting back into hair. So it's fun. Cool. So in the tail right here, we can divide it into 3 or 2, you know, sometimes 4. How much as you want.
Yeah.
Right here. Maybe a little bit more.
Don't make it look too like black or white.
Yeah. It could be like that. Let's try that. Let's see. Really cool. And with the band right here, what I used for the band was elastic cord. You know, something that you can actually find at a fabric store, and it's just a cord, and you want to cover it. You know, so sculpt. Just make sure that you cover the cord. And maybe a small little one. Yeah, I can use the hairpin, that's fine. Hairpins were used in place also. So once this is dry, we're gonna go back. We're gonna take all these little metal pins out and use tiny little invisible hairpins. Superfine Strong. Superfine Strong is pretty incredible. You know,
Yeah.
it made the hair reflect
The
with
lights.
all the lighting. It was super, super shiny.
Kept everything in place.
Yeah, it was cool. So as you can see, there's so much you can do with it, and have fun. What was really also very much like these little things is really nice to kind of like, detail, to make sure that everything was as tight. We wanted it to be rock hard, very, very stiff. So tightness on the sides, square. The music was really cool.
Yeah,
right?
and the music went really well with the show, the pre-show.
We actually have someone saying they would love to incorporate this look on someone for everyday style. So little do they know we have a second style coming for them.
Yes, everyday style is great. It's so fun. So we have that. We're gonna do that.
But this is definitely that New York City going out holiday time.
Okay, so I'm gonna just do one more little thing. Can you help me hold this right here? I'm just gonna detail this little area. Yeah. You can just sculpt it like that, right onto the face. Use your tail comb to flatten everything out. All right, one more last bit.
Joanna's asking what product you're using to sculpt.
The product I'm using to sculpt is Oribe's Rock Hard Gel. Thank you. And see that little band right there? I'm going to cover it with a little bit of a hairpin. All right, can I get the net? It's important to wipe your hands, and so you're free from, so you're able to sculpt and warm.
Marissa's asking if you used any products to prep before you sculpt.
The products I used to, the only product that I actually used to prep was Maximista. And that is just to get a really tight asymmetric ponytail. Yes. And then as far as ironing the hair, it was soft lacquer. And that's just to kind of give a little bend to the hair. While placing the net on is really important that we don't get it onto the model's face. We get it just so it flattens everything. We don't want to see any type of indentions, and also makeup is there. So we take this, a French net to hold all the flyaways into place, hold the pins down, and then we're going to use Superfine Strong again to layer. We want to make sure everything is as flat, clean as possible. Make sure you clean and set up all the flyaways. And then we use our diffuser and our blow dryer. On cold air. We don't want to go with hot yet because we really want the cold air to kind of just naturally set in and set the hair. Diffusing hair to me is very, very important. We don't want to diffuse like this, you know, because it's gonna, like, you really want to concentrate and diffuse in one area at a time. Moving the dryer back and forth is just creating curves. So that's one little thing that I'm really important to understand while you're diffusing. Okay, we'll just have Gabriella have a seat for just let it dry. All right, so how would I take this kind of like snake-like pattern and have it more wearable? Something that you can actually do in the salon or on your own clients. For this look, we did everything asymmetric going forward. On our other model, what I did was something that we know, and we know how to do it, is a French twist going back. You know, it's something that we do all the time in the salon on clients, whether it's a special event or a wedding or a night out or on the runway. It's a very solid foundation that we teach at the school to kind of keep and tuck long hair away so that we're able to use other parts of it to create a look.
Now we have a couple of questions. Shannon's asking if you could use a hooded dryer.
Yes, a hooded dryer in the perfect place. That's the perfect place to be in the salon, is use a hooded dryer, pop the client underneath the dryer for about 15 minutes, and she'll be perfect.
And Cassie's asking, did you begin with wet hair on the models?
No, working backstage, we don't, you know, it's always so important to analyze what the state of the hair is in. We didn't start with wet hair because wet hair, working backstage, it takes longer to dry. Obviously, if the models are going from show to show and they're coming from with a different look, we definitely have to like rinse it. But I like working with the hair, breaking it down from dry to wet, but not starting from wet hair. Foundation mist is killer for that. It sets in your solid foundation. All right, so onto the top is how I did this was I started off by my sectioning. I used the top of the crown and did pretty much kind of like a D section. So the top is like a D section because it's going to the side. Everything on the bottom, I rolled back and folded the twist going back, and then use hairpins to lock everything in. Cool? Alrighty. So now, and I'm using using impermeable to help control the flyaways on the bottom, to help me fold the twist in, is what I use to prep the hair with. Tail comb. It's also really important to, while we're deciding on styles, is to look at your client or your model's face to decide which side is going to accentuate the eyebrows. I mean, the eyebrows, the opening of the eyebrows is really important because it's the most expressive. So that's how I chose the side of where I put my section. All right, so now I'm just gonna go straight in. Davide's gonna help me. You'll notice with the hair, the snakes are flat. They're not round, you know. So with something that is flat, I'm gonna go ahead and use my flat iron.
You want impermeable?
I'll use, if we can use impermeable, that would, or actually gel serum would be really, really nice too. I think gel serum. Just a little bit of gel serum.
I love using gel serum and travel.
I'm using gel serum. Our gel serum is a hybrid of gel and serum, so incredible to do a blowout, you know, but I'm going to use it a little bit differently. I'm going to use it, I'm going to ribbon the hair just to kind of smooth. You can see that the product is just really nice. I'm not looking for too crispy. I'm just looking for the serum effect. And feeling it kind of like a satin ribbon all the way down to the ends, okay? You don't want to oversaturate this, just very, very lightly, kind of more velvet. Using a flat iron, look for your wave, and then press it in lightly.
Maybe pin it.
Yeah. As you're, what I'm doing is I'm just feeding the hair, pushing it up. So I'm getting like very, very kind of snake-like. A snake-like pattern. And before, you know, I'm just gonna let it cool for a second, or you can actually start placing and pinning. Using hairpins to pin it onto your twist.
Jumps around.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit of truss serum to lock in the ends.
Hannah's asking if you have a favorite hairpin.
My favorite hairpins. My favorite hairpins are pins that are light. That are I like Diane's, you know, because they're light and they don't have like the little ball at the end. And yeah, Diane hairpins are great. And bobby pins. That's cool. And what I'm doing essentially is just looking for my ridge and flattening it to create like an S, not S, more like snake-like pattern.
What temperature is your flat iron set at?
The temperature of the flat iron is really important. It's nice to use hot, but also what's important is to really understand the texture of the hair. If the porosity of the hair is, you know, not as nice, I would really watch out for the heat temperature. Oop.
Lisa's asking what flat iron you're using.
The flat iron I'm using is called Evan flat iron. What I like about this iron is that it bevels, you know, and the temperature is really nice. Just feed the hair so you get this kind of like snake-like. And then you can sculpt it as anywhere you want.
You have a lot of love. Jamie says she could watch you do hair all day. You're
Oh my
amazing.
gosh. Thank you.
We're making you blush on live camera. Someone's asking if you're twisting the ends as you are feeding them in.
Twisting, if I'm twisting the ends as I'm feeding in, no, I'm not. I'm looking for more of a flat snake, so it's not a twisted You could, you know, but right now I'm not. Yeah. If you want to do it, yeah, go. There's no problem, but right now I'm not. I'm just keeping it as flat as possible. Sections could be as big, as small, as you want it to be. So you want to just make it a ribbon. Seal the ends. There you go. See how it just has that little bit of that snake. Yeah. And right here, smooth it. And place it. And we can place it right onto our base. Super fine strong. Maybe keeping it a little bit more organic like that.
I've got a couple questions about the product you're using before the flat iron.
Yes. The product I'm using is called Gel Serum, and it's a hybrid between a gel and a serum. Its main purpose is to do beautiful, beautiful volume, smooth blow dries, but I'm using just a little bit as a gel to flat iron. To iron. And also what it does is like it creates that extra little shine. It gives a tremendous hold. And I am putting it on dry hair, so I'm using it more like a gel.
Jamie's asking if you think they could get the same look with the curling iron or wand, or do you prefer the flat iron?
The question was if you can get the same look with a curling iron or a wand. You probably can, but with a curling iron, you're going to get more of a rounder effect. For this look, I'm going more for like a flatter, a snake, like just a little bit more flat. So yeah. A little bit more of this. Just softly sculpt it back. Super fine strong. Maybe just kind of a little bit softer in the front. A little bit more wearable. Tail comb. Tail comb. Always use the tail comb to sculpt everything in. lay down all those flyaways, slick it back. You know, it's nice to have the sleekness on the side, the squareness, and then the back is just a little bit more natural. Maybe I'll just fold this last one right here.
No flat iron?
No, I think we're just to make it a little bit more softer. Pins. And then the ends, we'll use the iron. To continue the S or the flatness. Super strong. And I will use a little bit of gel serum to control my ends. So again, there's like that kind of three-dimensional thing going on with volume in certain areas and using the gel to kind of like lay things down and take care of flyaways, spike out these ends if you want to. You know, there's many different things that you can do. Let me pull that down just a little bit. I love that the highlight on Jimenez's hair right here, so I'm just gonna accentuate that by just dragging and pushing it up so it's maybe bend this in a little bit more. And then super fun strong. Again. Now we just kind of go in and clean up anything that we don't like. Clean up the flyaways.
Martha's asking if the part line is straight or curved.
The question was?
If the part line is straight or curved.
The parting. That's a great question. The parting. If we were going to, this one is actually straight back or slightly diagonal the back. I find that if we were going to do a parting, whether if it's a low side parting, if you do it square back, the look is going to be a little bit more masculine. If you do it at an angle and take it back into the back, the back crown, it's a little bit more softer. It's a little bit more feminine. So if you're going for more masculine, more tough, then do it square. Just take it. Cool. Here you go.
Gorgeous.
Thanks. So a little bit more editorial. Our look from yesterday looks like it's drying. So now we take the French net off lightly and carefully. And then now we're gonna start releasing the pins. And can I get the hairpin too? When we release the pins, you want to lock them down. Lock your work down. And when pinning, it's very, very important to look at the grain of the base. If the grain is going up, what I want to do is take my pin and go with the grain. I don't want to fight against it. Okay? If you fight against it, it's going to
Fight you back.
Just release it one by one. And then now just double check. Maybe bring this in a little bit more. Then what we can do here, actually I want to lift this up just a little bit more. Maybe lock that in. Can I get a hairpin? And let's go just a rock hard down. Just to kind of detail the puffiness right there, tiny little bit. And then super fine strong. Maybe raise this so you really see the asymmetric shape. Spray going up or in the direction. And here you go. This is the show, the look from the show yesterday.
So we have our runway model, and then we have our in the salon look. Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
So I'm going to pop back in really quick, you guys. I'm the voice behind the camera. I'm also American Salon Senior Social and Digital Editor. We are live in New York right now at Oribe's Educational Studio with the one and only Kien. And I actually saw him last night. We were backstage at the Blondes fashion show. This was the look that was created for the show. Kien has also taken it in another direction where we have a model that you can take into your studio, in your salon space, and recreate that look for them. And real quick, we had a couple questions about Oribe's education.
Yes.
It's not just in New York, is that correct?
Oh, this is going to be an exciting year. We're actually taking the education from our New York office to Miami and to LA. So it's going to be East and West.
Perfect. And is it one day or is it multiple days, the classes?
Well, there are 3 different types of chapters.
Okay.
The first chapter is our essentials, that's where you really get like all the fundamentals, all the foundations, the braiding, the bases, like what you actually need to be backstage. And that's a 2-day course. It's kind of like boot camp, so it's really, really cool. And the other chapter 2 is our 1-day courses. And then we get into the wefts, and those are
So you guys can always check out online at Oribe's website. And Kien, we love
Oribe.com/journey.
Perfect. Write that down. And where can we find you on social?
You can find her in her meetings, KIENHOANG. Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm going to bring. your lovely assistant back in.
Hi.
Thank you so much for your help. And where can we find you on social?
Davide NYC Hair.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So that's easy. You know where to find American Salon on Facebook because we're all here. You can find us on Instagram at American_Salon. And you can always find us online at AmericanSalon.com. And this video will live on forever for our Facebook page. So if you're just joining us, feel free to go back and watch it at any time to see the full how-tos for both looks. So thank you guys for joining. And thank you, Kien.
Thank you.
both.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye,
so much.
guys.
Bye.